Good afternoon. Welcome back to the TNT Sports Show here at J7 Sports Grill. Alongside my co-host Terry, I'm Travis. Postseason is in full swing. Started with volleyball sectional started last week, so we'll let Terry talk about sectionals over at Eastern Green.
Okay. Well, Eastern Green started off just really inspired performance coming out against South Knox. They just brought a lot of fire and energy, and they wound up sweeping the team that had eliminated the Lady Thunderbirds from the sectional the previous year, exacting a measure of revenge. And Linton Stockton in the first semifinal Saturday, they swept Mitchell as they'd done during the regular season. Both teams, of course, ran into the buzzsaw that is Bar Eve, and the way Bar Eve looked in that tournament, it looks like they've got another successful tournament run in front of them. I hadn't seen them yet, and they're a really solid team. They're aggressive and they hit hard, and they're well coached. So, somebody's going to lose their last game of the season, but to run up against a team like that, it's no disgrace to lose to Bar Eve.
And then both Eastern Green and Linton both had successful years. I think Linton had 22 wins, and
23.
Eastern 23, and then Eastern had 18 or 19.
Yep.
So after a slow start, so good way for first-year coach and Whitney Richardson to finish up the year for Eastern Green as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then over in Class A at Clay City, Bloomfield ended up winning their third straight sectional. It wasn't always easy for them. They had kind of a relatively easy match in the opener against WRV. They won in 3 sets there. And then the match of the tournament, which everyone was looking forward to, was the semifinals Saturday morning against host Clay City. And they came out fired up, intensity all throughout. Won the first 2 matches. I thought they probably played their best first 2 sets of the entire season against Clay City. And then they dropped the next 2 sets and went to a 5th, ended up winning 15-6 in the 5th set. And just a big relief for them to get past Clay City, which was a team that beat them twice earlier in the year. So it was a good relief there. And then they ended up playing North Central in the championship match. And that was a pretty good exciting match as well. It only went 4 sets, but North Central fought them every point. And it was just a good match there in a championship match. And North Central had defeated Shakamak earlier in the day in the second semifinal match. So Shakamak, they finished 5-21 the year. Coach Buckley had mentioned that although the record didn't show it, he thought they played a lot better than last year. They ended up not winning as many matches, but he said individual set-wise, they ended up winning more sets than last year. So it was a good way for them to end. And then Bloomfield, just Emily Boer, she just had an outstanding tournament. She had 22 kills in both the Clay City match and the championship match against North Central. Feeding her the ball, Felicity Graff, she ended up with 60 assists that first match, which broke her own school record for most in a single match. And she followed that up with 53 more in the championship match. And she now has 1,077 assists on the season, so that's not too shabby of a number there for her. And then with the sectional win, they get to host a regional tonight against Tinley, which is a rematch of last year's sectional. Bloomfield ended up winning in 4 sets last year in that regional championship match. Just looking through Tinley's stats, they have a 6'2" player in Amia Jones, which is just a sophomore. She doesn't have a lot of kills. She only has 219 kills on the year, but she has 174 blocks. And that's
you don't see that around here.
That's not a typo. That's
No.
legit. And just put in perspective, they only had 678 kills as a team on the year, where Bloomfield has over 1,200 kills as a team. But as a team, Tinley has 343 blocks on the year compared to Bloomfield's 103. So talking with Coach Dunkler yesterday, she mentioned they're going to have to get through their blockers, so it'd be a good matchup tonight. And just Bloomfield's got a plethora of hitters. They have, counting Madison Toon, which is injured now for the season, they have 5 girls with over 150 kills on the season. So they've got girls. It's just not a one-man show. Emily Boer, they've got other hitters, and Megan Bond, Harley Sullivan has over 200 kills. Callie Moody, and also the freshman taking over her big sister's place, Malia Toon also as well. So they've got plenty of options offensive-wise for them. So it should be a good match tonight.
Yeah, I expect another barn burner. Last year's was a barn burner. One of those 4 sets was a 40-38 set, and you just don't see that. Tinley's going to be athletic. They were young last year. They're improved this year. I think they were ranked 10th in the last final regular season AP poll. Expect another shootout, just like last year. I've got my Bloomfield volleyball shirt on here.
And that you talk about that 40-38 set last year. Bloomfield actually lost that set.
Yeah.
But to credit to them, after just an emotional, long, drawn-out set, they came back and won the next 2 sets to close out the match. So just kudos to them for, after that long marathon set, to come back and finish it out for them as well. And plus tonight they got it at home. They're on their home court at Glover Gymnasium as well, which they all talked about Saturday night. They wanted. There was a goal this year was to get back there and get back to Glover one more time. So it should be a good atmosphere tonight.
Yeah.
Over in Glover. Then football sectional started last week as well. Terry was here in town with the Miners, so maybe let's talk about Friday night's action.
Okay. I'd seen Tell City the year before when they beat Eastern Green, and it was basically the same team I saw last year with one exception. They didn't have their star running back. He graduated, and so they were a level below what they were the year before. So I can't say any surprises came out of that game.
Then they have Perry Central this week, so it should be a decent matchup for them.
Yep, it's going to be another Linton and Perry, slugfest. These teams have the last 9 years the sectionals come down to either Linton or Perry, and the one time in that span when Linton didn't win the sectional, Perry won it. So, it's just they don't play in the regular season, but they've got a postseason rivalry. And Linton's always going to respect Perry, and Perry just seems to be the same team every year. Big and strong with a good running back. There's almost a formula down there.
If there's one downfall, the Miners do have to travel down there this Friday night instead of having it at home. But I'm sure they'll be coming out ready as well for that match.
Yeah.
Then over at Eastern Green, Thunderbirds opened up with a 41-21 win over South Decatur last Friday night. Didn't think the Thunderbirds played all that great. They had 3 turnovers in the game, and it was actually tied 21-21 midway through the third quarter. And then the best player on the field, Jeff Graham, just took over. He ended up with 318 yards on the ground last week, and the majority of that came in the second half. He just kind of took over, and he actually had a fumble there in the third quarter as well. But after that, coach put the ball back in his hands, and he just took over and dominated, and they ended up with a 20-point win. They've got West Washington this week, which they're 9-0. They had a bye week last week. Don't really know too much about them. The schedule really hasn't all been that tough, so they both played the same 3 teams, and they're 3-0 against all 3 of those teams. So the one thing that Eastern has on their side is just that they have them at home this Friday night, so they're looking to make it to the sectional championship game for the first time. They've never won 2 sectional games in history. Actually, Friday night was only their second sectional win ever, so just good for them. So, and that game is at Eastern Green Friday night, so that'll be good for them. Then on the cross country, we had 2 local athletes advance to the state finals from Saturday's semi-state. Liz Bredwick from Shakamak finished 21st overall. She was the 8th individual to qualify, not on a qualifying team. And then Bloomfield's Allie Workman, she finished 4th overall. Just continues her outstanding year as well. So,
yeah, both those girls improved on their semi-state performances from a year ago. Workman jumped from 8th place to 4th this year and cut 32 seconds off her time. Bradaway leaped all the way from 63rd to 21st and got 1 minute and 15 seconds off her time from the year before. She's really improved dramatically.
And the state finals is this weekend up at the Laverne Gibson Championship Course in Terre Haute. I think the girls' race starts at 1:45 on Saturday.
Caleb Dunkerley said before the season he hopes this is the year Allie can get to the medal stand.
And she, just looking at our time, she got a really good chance of getting in that top 25. So
Yeah.
good luck to both of them this weekend. I just want to also congratulate the other 6 individuals that performed in semi-state last week. They're actually the co-athletes of the week this week. Buddy Davis from WRV, Parker Ramsey from Bloomfield, Clay Reynolds from Shakamak, and Jensen Franklin from Lynn Stockton. They all seniors. Actually, I'm sorry as well. Mariah Sweet from Shakamak ended her season as well. So, just congrats to them on all outstanding careers, cross country wise. Then also just want to give a shout out to our 2 players of the year so far this year. Caitlin Hudson from Eastern Green was named the girls golfer of the year, and then also Brennan Hughes was our boys tennis player of the year. Coming up next week, we'll have our first cross country runner of the year. That'll be announced on Wednesday, and then the following week we'll have the girls cross country runner of the year, and then volleyball will be up as well, and then football when the season's over. So that wraps up for this show. We just want to thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.